The Galactic Council had been at war for 3 standard cycles when Ambassador Velthar first approached Earth with their proposition. The sleek diplomatic vessel descended through the atmosphere, its shields gleaming against the afternoon sun over Geneva. Inside the UN Assembly Hall, representatives from nearly every human nation waited with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Velthar was a Quentar, a species known across the galaxy for their diplomatic prowess and silver tongues. Her crystalline form refracted the chamber lights into dancing rainbows as she addressed the gathered humans. "People of Earth," she began, her voice melodious through the translators. "The Galactic Council extends its hand in friendship and alliance. The Krell Dominion threatens to consume all free worlds. We ask you to join our coalition." Secretary General Martinez stood from his seat, his weathered face betraying no emotion.
"Ambassador Velthar, humanity appreciates your visit.
However, we must respectfully decline. This is not our war." The Quentar's form flickered with surprise. "You do not understand the stakes. The Krell show no mercy. They will eventually reach your system." "Perhaps," Martinez replied calmly, "but we have only just achieved interstellar capability. We've spent the last century ending our own wars. We will not rush to join another's conflict." Velthar departed empty-handed, and Earth continued its policy of armed neutrality. Humanity fortified the Sol system, building defensive platforms and improving their fledgling fleet, but they refused every subsequent call to arms. The Council grew frustrated. Some species whispered that humans were cowards, too primitive to understand galactic politics. 3 more cycles passed. The war ground on, neither side gaining significant advantage. The Krell were savage warriors, but the Council's alliance held firm. Earth remained isolated, a quiet observer building its strength in the darkness between stars. Then the Krell made their mistake. The research colony on Kepler 442b was humanity's pride, a joint scientific venture with the Lyran Collective, one of the few species that had respected Earth's neutrality. 300 human scientists worked alongside 200 Lyrans, studying extremophile life and pushing the boundaries of xenobiology. The colony was marked as neutral territory, recognized by both the Council and the Krell. The Krell attacked without warning. Their warships emerged from jump space and opened fire immediately. The defense platforms lasted 17 minutes. The colony lasted 8 more. By the time the distress signal reached Earth, there were no survivors. In the UN Assembly Hall, now serving as humanity's de facto war room, Martinez stood before the gathered representatives. His hands trembled slightly as he read the casualty list. 300 names. Scientists, researchers, families. The Lyran ambassadors sat in stunned silence, grief etched across their feline features. The Krell commander's message was clear. Martinez said, his voice hollow. "They consider our neutrality an insult. They wanted to teach us the cost of remaining uninvolved." He paused, jaw tightening. "They succeeded, but perhaps not in the way they intended. The vote was unanimous. Humanity had refused to join the war, but humanity had never forgotten how to wage one." The first indication the Krell had of their error came 3 weeks later. A human fleet designated Task Force Vengeance emerged at the Krell staging world of Draconis. 7th. The Krell defenders activated their shields and prepared to repel what they assumed would be a minor nuisance, some primitive species trying to bare its teeth. The human ships didn't behave like council vessels. There were no warning shots, no attempts at communication, no grand tactical maneuvers. The human doctrine was something the galaxy hadn't seen in millennia. Total war. Kinetic kill vehicles traveling at relativistic speed struck first, their impacts releasing energies equivalent to nuclear weapons. Then came the missile swarms, thousands of independently targeting warheads that overwhelmed point defense systems through sheer numbers. When the Krell shields finally collapsed, the human railguns opened fire, tungsten rounds punching through armor that had withstood Council. Weapons for cycles Draconis. 7 fell in 4 hours. The Galactic Council watched in shock as humanity's fleet swept through Krell space like a scythe through grain. The humans didn't fight like the Council fought. There were no honor duels between capital ships, no pauses for surrender negotiations, no concern for the traditions of galactic warfare. The humans had spent a century ending their own wars, and they had learned every brutal lesson. Admiral Chen commanded the Sol Defense Force from her flagship, the UHSV Kepler's Vengeance. Her strategy was simple and terrifying. Find Krell military assets and eliminate them with extreme prejudice. No territory was occupied, no worlds were conquered. Humanity had no interest in empire. They wanted only one thing: retribution. The Krell War Council convened an emergency session on their throne world. They had been confident. The humans were new to space, barely worth consideration. Now 16 of their forward operating bases had been reduced to debris fields. Their supply lines were in chaos, and the human fleets showed no signs of stopping. High Commander Krellzak reviewed the tactical displays with growing dread. "How?" he growled. "They have only been in space for a few decades. How do they fight like this?" His intelligence officer's reply was quiet. "Sir, we've analyzed their history. They've been fighting wars for their entire existence. Not minor skirmishes, total wars. Wars that consumed entire continents. They only stopped fighting themselves recently. And we—" He paused. "We reminded them how." 6 months after the destruction of Kepler 442b, Admiral Chen's fleet entered the Krell home system. The Krell's grand fleet assembled to defend their cradle world, thousands of warships representing centuries of military tradition. The battle lasted for 2 days. When it ended, the Krell Grand Fleet had been shattered, but humanity didn't glass the Krell homeworld. They didn't demand surrender or territory. Admiral Chen broadcast a single message in every Krell dialect: "We did not want this war. We tried to stay away. You forced our hand. Remember that next time you consider attacking those who only wish to be left in peace." The human fleets withdrew to Sol space. Earth returned to its policy of neutrality, but now the galaxy understood what that neutrality represented. Not weakness, not fear, simply a choice, and the knowledge that humanity could choose differently if pushed. Ambassador Velthar visited Earth once more, her crystalline form dimmer than before. "On behalf of the Council," she said softly, "thank you. The Krell have sued for peace." Martinez nodded wearily. "We hope this peace lasts, Ambassador, because humanity would very much like to return to what we do best: building, exploring, and learning." "And if peace fails?" Velthar asked. Martinez's eyes were hard as steel. "Then the galaxy will remember that humanity knows how to do something else very well too. We just prefer not to." As Velthar's ship departed Earth, she transmitted a single addition to the Galactic Codex, a warning that would echo through Council space for generations. Do not mistake humanity's desire for peace as an inability to wage war. Earth had refused to join the war, until the aliens picked the wrong enemy.